Good evening, everybody. My name's Tom Stoukas, coming to you live from Sarnia, Ontario, on June 6th, Friday night. I got rocking it out here, Friday night in Sarnia. And I was looking at the X today, and I just came to the realization that it's just, today's just nothing. It's all bad news. Nothing really to be very optimistic about, which is like I'd like to be a positive person. I don't want to be always a negative person. But lately it's like even worse with Carney. Now that like people thought, oh no, Trudeau's gone, it's going to be awesome now. It's like the problem wasn't just Trudeau. Trudeau was annoying, he was an embarrassment, he was dangerous, and was a puppet, but he wasn't the only problem, like the only reason Canada was screwed. And he's gone now, but I see the same problems. So you see incompetent leaders, like at the federal level, at the provincial level. Like I saw the public safety minister today couldn't even answer a basic question about public safety, about gun licensing, whatever. Doug Ford going away to the cottage for the summer, while the unemployment numbers come out. They're going up, the unemployment, and even the people that have jobs aren't making enough to keep up. So you got crime, people getting busted, and they're on the street faster than the cops can round them up. So you got that. Then to top things off, you got the shitty air coming in from the fires, apparently, from the west, and now you can't breathe. And the weather's been shit for, usually May and June are pretty nice. You sit on the patio. Nope. Now you can't breathe out in the patio. What the hell, man? I mean, that's just a few things. I'm trying to not sound like, I try to be positive in my everyday life. I go to the park, I go outside, go for walks. I'm not sitting in my basement doom and gloom, but for a country collectively, it's discouraging to see. This is all today. So you got unemployment, you got just nonsense from our leaders, and then you got the big busts you hear of, huge horrible crimes, and they're on bail that day, and they don't have like court dates for like another 2 or 3 months, so they're just roaming around the street. So yeah, it's like, what the hell? And then you got like, we got to look for if when the housing crash is going to come, if it's going to come, especially in Toronto. It's just, I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to try and find some positive stuff someday. Today's not that day. And then you got a little drama down in the States. Elon Musk and Donald Trump have broken up. Nasty. It's not just like a amicable split. It's a nasty breakup. No judgment here. So everybody's trying to figure out what happened and what's going on. I'm like, only really people who really know what's going on is Trump and Elon, because Elon's saying one thing and Trump's saying the other. Trump's saying Elon's nuts and he needs help. A lot of people are saying that. Elon is saying he wants to start a new party and everything. I don't know where he gets all his energy. He's got 20 companies and he wants to start a new political party after being on the campaign trail for almost a year. I don't know where he gets his energy. But anyway, I'm just going to sit back and watch it. You can't really explain anything like that. You just got to watch it and see what happens. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Probably not good news either. But who knows what's going on down there. Alright. So, that's pretty well what the day's been. Just bad news. So, we'll go through my X feed, and that's it. Try not to get too depressed. Okay. Let's see what we're going through today. Just all bad news. Bad leadership, bad policies, bad results. Just bad. Need some good news. Alright, there's my morning wake up. Don't get me wrong, like I still try to enjoy. I'm still enjoying my life. I don't not worry. I don't get bothered by it. But as an observer of the everyday events, it's a little disheartening to see such. It's even with Trudeau gone, it's still going. The destruction's still happening. All right, this is the first post of the day. Police arrest 36 men. Lay 128 charges in Ontario-wide child sexual exploitation probe. So that's 36 men. Okay. 33 of them are already released from custody. Unbelievable, yes. It's like, wow. And that happens in a lot of cases. Not just kiddie porn or whatever. Kiddie porn. That's horrible, but it happens in lots of cases of like violence and robberies, carjack. They're out. They're out that day or the next day. Maybe I don't know what's going on. The courts are a mess. They don't have the room in the jail. The courts take forever to get the cases to court. It's just a mess. I hear court people complain all the time, like court workers saying how stressed and overworked they are. So yeah, I don't know how that's possible, but 36 men lay 120, 33 of them on bail. I wonder who these guys are. A little good news, I guess, is in Quebec, they're looking to slash their immigration targets in half, cutting services for non-residents. So yeah, a lot of the time in Canada, which isn't the case in other countries, is you're basically treated as if you're non-resident, you're treated as a Canadian. So basically any service a Canadian has access to, you can correct me, but more so than other countries, you're allowed into a lot of these. You're treated like a Canadian, and so they want to cut some of these programs. Anyway, they want to cut immigration. So, but Ontario, on the other hand, we keep getting all the major immigration inflows. Like most of the people that come to Canada stay in Ontario. And Doug Ford brags about it. He's like, oh, I made Ontario so attractive that everybody in the world wants to come here. It's like, man, you're nuts. So I don't expect much changes from Doug Ford on the immigration stuff like Quebec is doing. Quebec, they're French too. They're very protective of that. So, but yeah, Ontario under Doug Ford is a globalist. It's just a globalist petri dish, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, we'll see how Quebec's policies progress. Next post, Dave Portnoy, who's just in Toronto actually, and he made little headlines. They called someone F the Jews while he was doing his pizza thing outside a Toronto place, and he's really been freaking out lately. Like, he's kind of ruining his brand that he built up, the Barstool Sports or whatever. He's getting all unhinged instead of just like, you know, not getting, you know, like, jokes about your ethnicity suck, but what are you going to do? You can't make them illegal. Like, I'm Greek. I'm sure I've heard a few Greek jokes that I don't like. So he's freaking out here like a little baby. I want to see what he says. It's kind of funny. Meanwhile, his country he's supporting is killing civilians for decades. So let's see what he says. Oh, wait.
Sailing there, like whoever that
right.
fucking Gaza, we can do unnamed. Gaza, we can do unnamed. You can be live in Gaza. I'll jump on Greta Van Thorsten or whatever that girl. She's sailing there, like whoever that fucking. I hope they hit a fucking like a missile on her boat.
Well, I hope
they hit a missile.
Yeah, he gets all offended by like people saying Jewish stuff, but then he's like trying to he's saying it's all right for him to say stuff like that. It's okay. That's just a little sidebar on Portnoy, because he was just in Toronto. He got the Toronto welcome, I guess. So next on to the stream of bad news. It's just depressing. Like, look at this. Mass shooting at Toronto pub linked to fiery tow truck turf war and a band of young guns for hire. I wonder where the young guns are from. The tow truck wars of Toronto. The Toronto tow truck wars. The Toronto tow truck wars. When did this happen? March, okay. Mass shooting inside Toronto pub in March when 3 masked men shot wildly into the crowd during the establishment's grand opening. It's linked to an ongoing Toronto tow truck turf war that included other shootings and a robbery. Might be. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so basically, they're doing playing GTA in real life in Toronto for over tow truck turf war. Yeah. Crazy. Toronto, they said Toronto's getting more like dangerous than U.S. cities, and we always used to say how, Toronto's safer than American cities. And now look at this. We're getting worse. Next post here. So Doug Ford brags about how many immigrants have come to Ontario under his watch. What a fat goof. Yeah, a lot of like these Indian gangs too are doing like the extortion and murder. Oh, the police can't keep up. Look at this. So this is police arrest 36 men, lay 120 charges. Okay, that's the one we were looking at. And most of them are on bail. Let's read this article quick. I just want to see where it was. Cross Ontario. Connection with child sexual exploitation probe. So it's a luring investigation ran from March 31st to April 11th, made up of... So what do they do? Just lure perverts online? Is that like to catch a predator? Yeah, here it is. Posing as children online, waiting for offenders to make contact. So that's what it was. It wasn't a ring or anything. That's crazy. That's crazy. So basically they put a trap out, like pretended to be kids, and all these pedophiles answered the call. That's disgusting. And they're out on bail. I don't know what you do with those guys. You throw them off a cliff. There's not much you can do with them. Next post. This is another thing about our leadership at the federal and the provincial level. It's just, they're not looking out for the peasants, I'll tell you that much. So, Kate Dupy makes a good point here. Remember when Doug Ford pretended that we needed to have an emergency election 15 months early, so he could work hard to protect Ontario. Now he's off to spend the next 5 months at the cottage, Ford Fest, just posing for photos. You know, like, what a lie. He just wanted to do a power grab, and he probably knew things were going to get rough down the road, so it's better to do it now. And that's what he did. Now he's gone. Won't be back for 137 days. How many Canadians take 137 days off? It's disgusting. And they just got a raise, too. So, I said if Ford gets another majority, Ontario's going to go to fully destroyed, and I still stand by that. We'll get back to Ford in a minute. So, here it is. Another one. Ford is a fat, lazy traitor. So after just sitting 23 days in 2025, 23 days in 6 months, that's nuts. The legislature is set to rise, saying won't resume until October 20th. That's nuts. So why do we even have these guys? The current parliamentary calendar shows they were scheduled to return on September 8th. So they're just lazy traitors. Doug Ford's got a lot of time now to drink beer and go to his cottage. I'm sure it'll be a summer of backroom deals. What a bunch of crooks. Next post. So she's saying all 36 were released on bail. We'll see. I don't know. Here's some of the list. Muhammad Ali, Meet Joshi, Srivan Puri, Furhat Ost, Ruben Putra, Lauren Lazar, Christopher Reynolds, Jinyu Wang, John Yu Wang, Abdul Hakim Mohammed, Jahan Zab Iktifar, David Dai, Jahangir Mohammed, Michael Parmenter. Abbotsford, BC, how the fuck? Anyway, a lot of weirdos online. They should just lure them to a pit with spikes, and that's it. No bail. Say, there's the kid, is in that pit. Go in there. Boom. This is another depressing thing about our leadership. Introduce citizen by dissent legislation. Like, I'm a little confused by this. So, apparently... Okay, I understand. Like, if you're born here, the kid's born here, you're automatically Canadian, but if you're born somewhere else and your parents are Canadian, anyway. Okay, let's see what this extend. And, you know, this is going to benefit third world immigrants who, who probably have like 20 kids waiting back home. An act to amend the Citizenship Act, which would automatically give citizenship to anyone who would be. Hold on. To anyone who would be a citizen today, if not for the first generation limit. Under the current rules, a Canadian citizen born outside Canada cannot pass their citizenship to their child who is also born outside the country. The new legislation would allow access to citizenship beyond the first generation as long as the parent has spent at least 1,095 cumulative days, not consecutive, cumulative, 3 years physically in Canada prior to the birth of their child. A news release. So basically they can come sit here for 3 years as a Canadian, go back to like Somalia and have 20 kids, and then all those kids... I don't know if I'm reading that right. Is this retroactive too? Yeah, it's retroactive. Lost Canadians. Oh my God. Okay. 2 years ago, the Ontario Superior Court declared the first generation limit for many people is unconstitutional. Government opted not to appeal the ruling, but continued to apply. So the courts kind of did it, and the government just said, okay, fine. This is ridiculous. Allowing a cohort of second-generation individuals to acquire citizenship may be appropriate as their parents may continue to have ties, including family in Canada, and their kids want to maintain their connection to Canadian heritage via citizenship. No, they probably want to maintain... Oh, who knows what they want to maintain? Welfare scam? Oh, this is ridiculous anyway. So, yeah, this is like Trudeau on steroids. Mark Carney's like Trudeau on steroids. They're gonna, and the courts are no good either. They didn't do anything during COVID. They're not doing anything on this. In fact, they're making it worse. They basically, the courts in Canada basically decided anybody in Canada, in the country, has the same rights as Canadians. They've decided that over and over again. So yeah, and the Liberals are just like, yeah. So Liberals just made birth tourism unnecessary. Now you can have your kid outside the country and they will automatically be citizens. So basically you have to be here for 3 years, but after that you can go home and have 20 kids and they can stay there all their lives and still be Canadian. They can vote. It's crazy. A lot of countries would never allow that. We're the only dummies. Next. Strange vibration. Yes. So, Ontario legislature is adjourned for a 137-day summer break. That's disgusting. What a joke they are. They couldn't even get John A. out of his box. Lazy. Doug Ford destroyed Ontario. He did. So let me get this straight. Ford Nation insists on spending millions on an early election to keep Ontario strong, only to give himself a 35% raise, pass a controversial bill that bypasses First Nations land rights, and vote on a 137-day summer vacay. Yeah, it's disgusting. We're screwed in Ontario. You know, so goes Ontario, so goes the country. And we got a dummy, a fat dummy running this province, and he's not even running it. Now, he also invited premiers to Muskoka this summer for he's rubbing it right in our face. He's like, I'm going to be at the cottage. Council of Federation meeting at my cottage. Fuck. going to be at his cottage all summer, cutting deals with his donors. A trader. He's a trader. And this is another thing. I have my craw. Surrey, BC immigration consultancy firm still operating after owner's license revoked. Okay, look at these immigration signs. If you go to like Toronto or even London, but any big city in Canada, you'll see all these signs everywhere. Immigration consultants, and these guys are crooks. A lot. There's maybe a couple good ones, a few legit ones, but a lot of them are just crooks, and they're gonna sell Canada as the land of milk and honey so they can get their consultant fees, even if they know person won't be successful, or they advise a person to do all sorts of unethical things to stay in the country. So these places all need to be shut down. Like they're everywhere, and they cause a lot of problems, but they seem nobody's going to shut them down. Let's just say that their business is good. They keep bringing in 1 million immigrants every quarter. So yeah, no good news today. Now, the next thing, unemployment. Canada's unemployment rate. A lot of bad news on that front today. And I have it more breakdown, but this is the general. Canada's unemployment rate rises to 7%. The third consecutive rise in a row as population growth continues to outpace growth in employment. Of course, you're bringing in 1 million immigrants in the first quarter of the year. And on top of visa holders, like so many, and they're all, if you see the lineups for job fairs, like it's round the corners. Oh my God. But Ontario is really worse too. It's like, it's higher in Ontario actually. So we're going to look at the breakdown as we move along. Next, another on the leadership front. David Eby says he won't be changing mind on another BC pipeline, rebuffing Ford. So yeah, remember they were all gathered at the premier's meeting in Saskatoon with the prime minister, and they're all like, "Oh, we're gonna do everything, screw Donald Trump," and they're, they can't agree on nothing. So basically, nobody wants a pipeline. Quebec doesn't want a pipeline. BC doesn't want a pipeline. So the only place Quebec or Alberta can put a pipeline is down south if Trump reopens the Keystone. So just pull the plug on this experiment. Team Canada didn't even last 2 months. Yes, I agree. I thought this was interesting. Canada trying to regularize communication after Carney Lee talks. Yeah, that's probably, I don't know. It's probably a good thing in the sense because the farmers are bitching about their canola tariffs that the Chinese put on. So I'm sure the farmers might be happy about that to get those tariffs removed. Try to get those tariffs removed. There's our fat trader premier. This is the tweet he put out today. The people of this province gave us a mandate to protect Ontario. You gave us a mandate to make Ontario the most competitive place in the G7 to invest, create jobs, and do business. We're on a mission to do just that. The bunch of clowns, man. Oh.
Future of our province and our nation's
I want to see this.
We will never compromise our inherent rights to live safely in our own homes and communities.
We have created a primary care action plan that will connect 2 million more people to publicly...
I can't watch this. But anyway. I like how he says, oh, we're going to be the most competitive place in the G7. Like, whatever, man. You destroyed Ontario, yeah. So we got really bad leadership. Really bad news. All are released. This is another one saying police arrest the 36 men. All are released. So, I mean, I guess they know who they are now, I guess. Ugh. And the thing is with court cases, not just with these guys, these pedophile dudes, but like gun crime and carjacking, they get the crime, they get the charge, they get released, and they go to the next court date, which is like months away, and they maybe have conditions where they can't not supposed to get into trouble, but then their next court date comes, they get remanded. Then it comes again, they get remanded. It just drags on. So it's like they know already they're not going to go to jail for years. And at the end of the day, a lot of the time the charge gets reduced to like time served, whatever. Suspended sentence. Because the courts are so backlogged and inefficient. But Doug Ford will be at his cottage. And this is another leadership issue. We got this guy. He's born and raised in Sri Lanka, I think. And he's our public safety minister. First of all, we shouldn't have foreign-born MPs or cabinet ministers, obviously. Foreign-born and raised in another country. We have like another one, Recky Valdez. Like, we have a few other foreign-born ones. But, like, I don't know. There seems like there's too many now, and they don't know what the hell. They don't really think about Canada. They don't grow up here. Like, it's not. It's just the truth, you know. Listen to this guy. He don't know nothing about Canadian gun owners. He doesn't know nothing. Listen to this guy. He's the public safety minister from. Oh God, I lost it. And our local MP here from St. Thomas made him look like a dummy. So this is the guy who just did this. This is the guy who just did a big border security bill, and he's planning on opening our mail, all sorts of, centralized surveillance kind of stuff. Now he's getting grilled over the gun stuff that they want to do. He don't know nothing.
You know what an RPAL is? No, Minister.
I do not.
Remember.
For the opening hallway shot, we actually ended it.
Does the minister know what the CFSC is? I'm a minister.
I do not know.
Oh.
I'll stipulate, Chair, that is the Canadian firearm safety course that all gun owners in Canada have to do to get their firearms license. Has the minister ever done the Canadian firearm safety course? Yeah, I'm a minister.
Speaker, it's my third week on the job. No, I haven't.
Oh, third week.
Remember. Does the minister know what safety classes and safety demands are expected of law-abiding Canadian gun owners? The Honourable Minister.
This is not about law-abiding gun owners, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member. How can the minister make that claim when he doesn't know the basic fundamentals of law-abiding gun ownership in this country, Chair?
Anyway, Andrew Lunt made him look like a dummy because he is a dummy. He doesn't know nothing about firearm, the safety and all that. Like, I know if I was Minister of Public Safety, that's probably, I'd make sure I knew the basics, especially if you're trying to take people's guns away. It's like half an hour. It's like half an hour to read up on it, buddy. But yeah, the guy's born in Sri Lanka. And let's make him a public safety. And he was the justice minister, I think, before. Like, come on. And before that, we had another foreign-born justice minister, Varani or whatever. And then we had Omar, whatever the hell his name, Omar, the little weasel-looking dude, Omar or something. He was the transport minister. And he was like born in Saudi Arabia. Then we have the other guy, the immigration minister, born in Somalia. Like, this is ridiculous. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm not saying like if they're Canadian citizens, they can do whatever in Canada to, you know, make a living or whatever, but it doesn't mean they can automatically go to Parliament. You know, look at this guy. Anyway, Gary. And here's the provincial. I never seen these people. Look at these guys.
The United States has overturned.
This is our finance minister, but I never seen guys do a video saying we're gonna screw off for 6 months while you guys are all suffering, and here's a video to show how cool we are.
Ontario and Canada face challenges
this is
unlike
such a
anything
joke,
we
man.
have ever faced
so
before.
depressing.
Our closest ally and trading partner, our neighbor, the United States, has overturned an economic relationship we once saw as unshakable. Madam Speaker, we are here, armed with an ambitious, bold, and targeted
who's
plan
doing
that will
these
make
videos
the
for them?
investments necessary for our well-being today, as well as the well-being of future generations. We cannot lose sight of the danger at hand. We cannot lose sight of who we are. The times demand that we are ready for anything. And make no mistake, Madam Speaker,
right. I can't.
Ontario is ready. We have a vision.
Look at that fat traitor.
We have a mandate. We have a plan. We have the people. And together, we will build a stronger Ontario. We will build a stronger, sovereign, and prosperous Canada. Thank you, and may God bless the people of Ontario.
I have no faith. What have these guys been doing for the last 7 years? They've been in power, majority government, last 7 years. Oh, God. All right. Here's some breakdown of the employee and the unemployment numbers. Is it just the beginning? That's the question. Like, are these numbers going to keep going up because the trend's going up, not down? Windsor, 10.8%. Ooh. And that's going to get worse. Windsor could be a ghost town. If that unemployment gets up to like 15%, it's going to be a ghost town. I hope not. I know people that work in Windsor. Oshawa, 9%. Oh my gosh. Toronto at 9% almost. Barrie, 8%, 8.5%. That's bad for how. And then you have this goofball just saying how great Ontario is and how they're going to protect Ontario, and Doug Ford saying how we're the envy of the G7, and then you see those numbers. Oh my God. And then we're talking about our leadership again. Gary, our public safety minister, I was talking about his first bill that they put through. Basically saying anybody who does a transaction, let's say I buy a car off another dude and it's like $15,000, I give him $15,000 cash, we're criminals then, basically. Yep, that's what it says. Every person or entity engaged in a business profession, business profession with a solicitation. Okay. So basically it's a business, so it doesn't say anything person to person. Like if I'm buying a car or something off somebody. It's just business. If a business is taken from the public, they can't accept cash over $10,000. Okay, interesting. Still not cool. Carney, a lot of this in Europe, they're a lot more strict. It's like person to person. You can't. So it's more, and so I'm sure Carney will work his way towards it because, like the war on cash and all that, and they always say it gets money laundering and like whatever. But it's not surprised that Carney wants to do the limiting of the cash transactions, just like they do in Europe, because Europe way ahead of us on that war on cash business. So here's another graph of the Ontario unemployment in Canada. So the overall rate in Ontario is 7.9%, which is above the national average. Quebec, it looks like, is the lowest. Good for them. Or up, excluding the territories. Alberta is high, 7.4. Anyway, Ontario is what matters because we're the main population hub, and Alberta, and it's not good numbers. We'll see. Okay. Rupa Subramanya is doing a lot of tweets today about the immigrant. She's kind of echoing my thoughts too. She says, "I had a great idea. Let's let more people in from third world shitholes." I say that too. That's her reaction. She's being sarcastic to the unemployment data from today. Let's let more people from third world countries in. So yeah, a lot of reaction to the unemployment numbers. So I'm sure Carney's going to start feeling the heat. Doug Ford, that's why he went to the cottage, so you don't have to feel the heat of the unemployment. And it's not just the unemployment. The people who are employed can't even make ends meet. And now she says, in another tweet, she says, we're officially a third world shithole. Because this is the thing. Toronto, like I said, we couldn't get any worse news. More like we keep getting bad news. Now we got the news. Toronto is currently the second most polluted major city in the world as wildfire smoke spreads across the city, according to a global tracker. So yeah, I'm pretty sure summer now is going to be ruined because of all the fires. And it is a little hazy, the air. I noticed yesterday. I was out all day, and it's kind of annoying. And it's like, is this going to... And my car is like all dust too. It's like, oh my God, there goes the summer. Not only we got shitty weather, we got smoke. So yeah, can't catch a break, Canada. And then next, we seen a lot of these lately of sexual assaults and kind of perverted shit. And it's like a lot of Indian dudes are the suspects. And I've always said too, it's not just like there are white dudes who are total perverts, but my point is like, yeah, we got enough of we don't need any more to import. So, but we seem to like be importing a lot, and it's like when you got millions of them who are like single men, of course they're gonna get all, some of them are gonna perv out. So what's this deal here? And it's always on a bus. What the hell is it with that? Ottawa police seeking to identify a man accused of exposing himself on OC transport bus. What the hell is that all about? Man, I have kids. If I ever go and see that stuff, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I see that, like, kind of weird what do you do? Let's see. Exposing himself and performing a lewd act on an OC Tempo transport bus in early May. Wow. Didn't say what he did, just says, what was he jerking off back there? Holy shit. Anyway, At least there wasn't like a girl involved. At least. Because the one guy on the bus last time was a girl. He was touching her or something. Now, here's the win. Oh, yeah, the worst air quality in the world right now. So we're either 1 or 2. I don't know. We're ahead of Delhi, India, and Lahore, Pakistan. It's like they're bringing their bad luck here because usually those places have all the dusty air and shit from Africa. And then this is Carney today saying, I guess there's a Muslim thing, religious thing called, I don't know what it's called. It's Eid or something, whatever. There's a Muslim holiday. So he's speaking to a Muslim group, and he said, all Canadians must come together around the values of Eid. Okay, Eid is the holiday. And he says, Muslim values, these are Muslim values, these are Canadian values. So he's getting a little flack for saying that. Well, I mean, he is a globalist, and that's something a globalist would say. But, you know, I never heard him say Christian values, these are Canadian values. Well, I don't think he'll ever say that. So, yeah, I don't like that. Because, you know, Canadian, they never say Canada's based on Christian values. Which is, you know, whatever. At least don't say, if you're not going to say Christian values, don't say Muslim values. You know, just don't say either one then. But whatever. He's a globalist. Okay. And here's Kirk Lubomov. Talking about Bill C-3, the immigration bill, the citizenship bill that gives the... So basically, Bill C-3 gives citizenship to lost Canadians. It only requires people to have 3-year association to Canada. Over 4 million Canadians live abroad. Canada has been given out citizenships with a Happy Meal. How many of these Canadians who couldn't care less about living in Canada can have kids abroad and they get a parachute passport to Canada to abuse a system they don't contribute to and never have? Many of these are Muslim and African countries that have 5+ kids, and now all these will become Canadian citizens. Liberals are adding 10 million plus new citizens from third world countries who have never contributed to Canada and are now taxpayers' liability. Yeah, like, technically, they could come here for free health care. If you're a Canadian citizen, you come here, you're getting health care. You have all the rights of a Canadian. And you never lived a day in your life here. Like, that's ridiculous, man. It's a joke. It's a joke. Like, not a word from the Conservatives, I'm sure. So, yeah. All bad news today. I'm going to try to look for some good news tomorrow. And our final post of the day. I don't want to look at any more news. Now, I don't know if this story is true, but there's Popeyes Canada is accused of buying unsafe halal meat from a seller that was storing, packaging rotten or expired halal meat in residential garages. The lawsuit alleges tainted meat was provided at Popeyes locations across Ontario. Now, don't know if this is true or not. Like, it could be just a beef the supplier having. Don't care. The point is what the hell? Whoever's eating, I'll tell you right now, I've been in the restaurant business my whole life, or most of my life, so I consider myself kind of an expert. And whoever eats at places like in Canada, whoever eats at places like Popeyes and Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken and Wendy's or Burger King or all the fast food places. Even McDonald's. McDonald's is not too bad because it's all packaged, like literally everything. So their food will kill you, but the prep won't. But anyway, you have to be almost insane to take your kids to eat because it's a lot of low skill immigrants working these fast food jobs, and they don't know what they're doing and they don't care what they're doing, like, and they're gonna poison somebody, or like, anyway, you'd be crazy. You might as well cook at home or find a restaurant, like an independent one that you trust, who's not gonna poison you inadvertently. And like Kentucky Fried Chicken went all halal, and like it's ridiculous. Like, and like I just wouldn't trust these. Like, the labor standards have gotten so low, and when you're dealing with food, you don't want to go low on the labor standards, So yeah, that's my advice. Whether this is true or not, I know I wouldn't want to eat on a regular basis out at these places. I can't remember the last time I've eaten a meal at a fast food place. It's been years. So that's my advice to people. Don't eat at fast food places. Support local that are clean and professional, or learn how to cook at home. So, and that's it for today. Lots of nothing really good news. The weather sucks. The economy sucks. The leadership sucks. Everything sucks. Well, maybe the Oilers will win the Stanley Cup. So, our next broadcast will be tomorrow, June 7th, 9 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully I will scour X tomorrow for some good news to broadcast. Until then, everybody have a very nice night. And we'll see you tomorrow.